12 persons amongst whom X and Y are seated at a round table. Okay, there are 12 persons amongst whom. So among these 12 persons are X and Y who are seated at a round table. What is the probability that there are 3 persons between X and Y? This, if you see, we have done this kind of a problem. I told you last day also that the same linear arrangement we have done, right? What was the logic? The X and Y, okay? And there must always be 3 persons between X and Y, right? How many persons in total? There are 12 persons in total, right? So how many ways that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely? Number of events that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. How many? How many ways of arranging 12 people at a circular table? Tell me.
12 minus 1 factorial.
12 minus 1 factorial, which is equal to 11 factorial, right? So we have found the denominator of the probability. Now let's determine the numerator. How do you determine the numerator? Now must always be 3 people between X and Y. If you remember the last problem that we did on linear arrangement, exactly the same problem. What did we do first? We selected the 3 persons, right? So 3 persons between X and Y can be selected out of how many? X and Y already fixed, right? So how many left?
10.
10. In how many ways? 10C3 ways, right? Now there are these 3 persons can be arranged among themselves in how many ways?
Factorial 3 ways.
Factorial 3 ways. Fine. Now what? This X and Y and these 5 people, X and Y and 3 people in between, they can be placed anywhere in the circle, right? So what do? I take all these 5 people to be 1. So considering X to be a single person, number of persons available. How many persons available? There were 12 persons, right? I remove these 5 persons, and because I have considered all these 5 persons as 1, I'll add 1, right? So this is equal to how much? 13 minus 5 equal to 8, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now these 8 persons can be arranged among themselves in how many ways?
Factorial 8 ways.
Why factorial 8?
Sir, 7 factorial.
7 factorial, because we are arranging in a circular table, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
In 8 minus 1 factorial equal to 7 factorial ways. Therefore, how many ways? Number of ways in which there are always 3 persons between X and Y at a circular table. Okay, tell me how many. If you can hear me clearly, tell me how many.
No, sir, your voice gone.
Yes, how many? Tell me now. How many ways? First 10C3 because we selected, right? 10C3 ways. Then what? We arrange these 3 persons. In how many ways? factorial 3 ways, right? And then what? And then we considered these 5 people as one, right? And arrange them, right? In how many ways? Factorial 7. Now is it okay? Did you understand? Are you able to hear me?
Sir, your voice is not.
Okay. Okay. Are you able to hear me now? No. If I say let A be the event that there are 3 persons between X and Y, therefore, number of events favorable to A is equal to 10C3 into factorial 3 into factorial 7. Hence, required probability is equal to PA is equal to 10C3 into factorial 3 into factorial 7 divided by what? How many events that are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely? Factorial 11. Okay. So you can find this out to be 1/3. Okay. Can you proceed now? Yes. Still audio problem? If A and B are mutually exclusive events, you can add up the individual probabilities of the events. Always remember, I have taken for 2 events. You can extend for any number of events. If you have 3 events, then you can write if A, B, and C are mutually exclusive, then you can write, okay, for 4 events, similarly, you can write PA plus PB plus PC plus PD, and you can extend it to n number of events. Clear with this? Now, one question that I pose here to you, that if I say that A, B, and C are mutually exclusive events, then can I say that they are pairwise mutually exclusive also? Yes, tell me. This is my question. Mutually exclusive events. Does it mean pairwise mutually exclusive? Yes, tell me. Yes or no? Make a wild guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the wild guess, Piyush, your wild guess is correct. Remember that if 3 or more events are mutually exclusive, then you can always say that they are pairwise mutually exclusive. But however, if the events are pairwise mutually exclusive, then we cannot say that all of them are mutually exclusive. Clear? You will find an example of this in the first exercise that I solved. If you see there, I had shown that events were pairwise mutually exclusive, but they were not mutually exclusive together. Okay. So just remember, when I say 3 or more events are mutually exclusive, I also mean that they are pairwise mutually exclusive. Okay. So if you have, let's say example, if I have 3 mutually exclusive events, that means A intersection B intersection C must be equal to a null set is an impossible event, which means A intersection B must be a null set, B intersection C must be a null set, and C intersection A must be a null set. Clear? But you cannot say the other way, that if A intersection B is a null set, B intersection C is a null set, C intersection A is an impossible event, a null set. This does not imply that A intersection B intersection C must be equal to a null set. Is this concept clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we can move on then. Okay, let's now come to, once we have discussed mutually exclusive events and the addition theorem here, we now come to the next part, which is for mutually exhaustive events. Now, if you remember, what was mutually exhaustive events? Mutually exhaustive events. In this, if you remember, I told you a definition that 3 or more events are said to be mutually exhaustive if A union B union C is a sure event, right? That means, what is the probability of a sure event? What is the probability of a sure event?
Sir, there will be some outcome.
Probability of a sure event will be 1, right? Understood? Probability of a sure event will always be 1. What is a sure event? If I'm tossing a coin, if I define the event A as getting a head or tail, can you get any other outcome from these two? Apart from these two, can you get any other outcome?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
So therefore, this event is a sure event. I getting a head or a tail is a sure event. So therefore, but for the time being, even if you're not able to understand the example, just remember that when 3 or more events are mutually exhaustive, then the mutually exhaustive events must be a sure event. Probability of mutually exhaustive events is a sure event. That means if A, B, and C are mutually exhaustive events, then I can write A union B union C is equal to sample space, which I can write as, and in terms of probability, I can write A union B union C must be equal to 1. So now if I give you in this definition only, in this definition, PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. So if A and B,
Sir, your voice is not audible.
if A and B are mutually exclusive, or let's say mutually exhaustive, if A and B are mutually exhaustive events, then what can you say about PA union B? Must be a sure event, right? The probability must be equal to 1. So therefore, PA union B, what is the addition theorem? PA plus PB minus PA intersection B, right? But this PA, because A and B are mutually exhaustive, PA union B is equal to 1. That means I can write PA plus PB minus PA intersection B is equal to 1. Clear? Because this part is 1, right? Now, suppose if A and B are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Then what happens? PA intersection B, sorry, PA intersection B, A intersection B is an impossible event. So therefore, this must be 0, right? And PA union B is a sure event. So the probability must be equal to 1. So therefore, what do you get from this? What do you get? PA plus PB is equal to 1. Understood? Have I been able to explain myself or not? Mutually
Yes, sir.
exclusive and exhaustive events. Remember, for mutually exclusive events, if A and B are mutually exclusive events, A intersection B, probability of A intersection B must be equal to 0. It will suffice for you to remember this. If A and B are mutually exhaustive events, then probability of A union B must be equal to 1. Clear? Now, this can be extended for 3 events also. For 3 mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, the sum of the probabilities must be equal to 1. PA plus PB plus PC is equal to 1. Okay. For n events also, if n events are there and they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive, then you can say the sum of the individual probabilities of the events must be equal to 1. Remember, for this it has to be both mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Okay. But if I say only mutually exclusive, then we have this result, and you will be coming across this result almost always. If two or more events are mutually exclusive and exhaustive, then you can add up their probabilities. Just remember this. Okay. PA union B is equal to PA plus PB. Okay. That is what I would like you to remember. Okay. Now I'll not proceed here. I'll stop here.